Well, we have been prompted this because we've made two videos on two different things, and this actually appears to bring it together and also add something. Um, First of all, we talked about with the government shutdown, this issue that the death benefits are being withheld from the families, wives, children of fallen soldiers, and because of the government shutdown and we spoke with people that outraged the defense secretary didn't say anything, but it has to be remedied immediately. But we talked about you went a specific about the fallout from that. Okay, the part of the death benefits actually pays for when the example here is that the remains of 4 or 5 soldiers. The remains were shipped to Dover for that they were shipped to Dover, and the families who want to bury their loved one who was killed in combat, their loved ones who were killed in combat. Part of what the death benefit provides is the money for the plane fare to fly to where the remains are. They have no money to fly. This is, as I said, charities is stepping in to fill this charity called Fisher Housing, filling. Charities have had to step in because the government shut down. That's despicable. But this is what's interesting. One senator finally did start to speak out about it, which is this. But that's not what caught our attention is what Karl Rove said. He said that this thing about the death benefits being denied and nothing being done about it. He said that based on what the Obama's press secretary said, he said there's some kind of callousness about the whole thing. But turns out that Robert Hale, he's the undersecretary of defense, that he had already raised this before the shutdown as like a potential problem. And Karl Rove says something that's very true. He says it's not just it's a moral obligation that regardless of what kind of services are being cut, the death benefits like that, particularly something that has to do with the burial of so a wife can bury her husband and everything. And they also need that money because remember the condition that people are in when we've spoken about what went on in New Orleans, girls whose husbands are off in Afghanistan that take care of their kids. The economy is like this. Okay, they really need that money. Or part of it is for the burial. But this, because of this kind of thing that the Republican Party is doing, and then the callous, back to the Republican Party isn't doing that, but the callousness of the Obama administration, the way they're handling it, but because of how the Republicans and Democrats, this whole thing that's going on, check this out. We talked about. Once again, preface it with saying that Noam Chomsky had said a long time ago when the Tea Party movement started to be very foolish. We said this in another video. Very foolish to say cynical things about the Tea Party movement. When Noam Chomsky speaks, we should all listen. And the fact that he comments on the Tea Party, we should listen. He said that this is coming out of very real concerns, particularly economic, and particularly the way in which the government is functioning. So it's something that's not. Some people don't take the Tea Party movement seriously, but what's starting to come out is that with the way their perception that they've spoken out, the way the Republican Party is behaving, there are people who are very serious saying the Tea Party could become a very serious third party. Well, it turns out that because of this issue and others, like with which how the whole government's funding, with what the Obama administration has done with delaying death benefits to soldiers, the Republicans behaving the way they are in terms of whatever's going on behind closed doors indicate the government's like just dysfunctional with these kind of congressmen. 90% of the Tea Party are saying that the Republicans are putting, because the Tea Party is often associated with the Republican Party and certainly like people would call it's really a populist movement. But the point is this, that they're saying that their comment on the Republican is 90% of them say the Republicans are putting politics before the concerns of the nation. Okay, so they're not just speaking out. Usually they seem to just like speak out against the Obama administration, and yet they're disgusted that the death benefits for soldiers are being delayed. But they're commenting 90% of them think the Republicans is a perfect example of them putting politics over the welfare of the nation. They could become a serious third party. See if there's anything else in here that's worth. Um, I mean that's pretty much what we got out of that. But it's worth commenting on. That's serious. I mean, with what's going on, I think that's very serious. They could become a third party, given what's happening.